2 or 3 of them being good.
Yeah, it's back, man.
Man, live and direct is Des the Connect Gamepoint Podcast.
You live in the place with that mouthy mofo out the Midwest. Ted Grams, what's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin'?
Pop's in the house. Let's have a conversation. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, what's going on, everybody? You know what I'm saying? Gloomy day here in my hometown, man. A somber day. I just woke up. That's the word I'm going to use. You know, I put both feet down on the floor this morning. I squinched my toes, and I just felt somber this morning. It was, you know, it's raining. You know what I'm saying? Not a whole lot of sunshine out. I just think it's just a vibe around the city. Y'all been picking that up? You know what I'm saying? What's the vibe around the city in y'all mind? You been out any today, Pops? You been out any today, Dez? I know we was just up at one of the local watering holes, me and Dez, and it was just not a whole lot of people out. A lot of people got real drunk last night. A couple of our partners saying, man, we had to get wasted last night.
You and Dez bring something to eat since y'all was at a watering hole? I don't see nothing to eat.
You got something in the fridge upstairs, man. I mean, you all right, man.
These guys, man.
You
They was at a
right,
watering
man.
hole. They done told on themselves. I
feed
feed them every week, and now they didn't bring me nothing.
Dez ain't think it was a good idea. We didn't eat either.
What was y'all doing at the watering hole? Drinking?
We
checking out the vibe of the city.
Yeah, man. We had to check it out.
Trying to feel the vibe of the city. You know what I'm saying? Some of us still get hands-on with this thing. Somebody got to be out in the field. Somebody got to do the dirty work.
I feed these guys every week. They didn't think about Pops, you know.
Pops, we going to take care of you.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
We going to take care of you.
I guess what's up with Brian's plan?
Man, for those who don't know, man, today is Saturday, man, June 9th, 2018, man. We just watched the Cavs get swept in the 2018 NBA Finals, man. You know, I don't want anybody to be confused of when this podcast was recorded on. We want to get right into it, y'all. Reporting live from Cleveland, man. The studio of Gamepoint Podcast, man. 0-4, man. LeBron James went, man. What's the first take, man, of the NBA Finals?
Disappointing. If you know, I can just be 100% honest. Very disappointing. You know, and it's enough blame to go around. We'll get into all of that later, but just disappointing is my first hot take on it. Right out the gate, just kind of disappointed, man. Disappointed in what led up to all of this and how guys felt. Disappointed in, you know, how my team played their hand throughout the season as I look back in retrospect. I know they say hindsight's 20/20, but, you know, I saw maybe some things that maybe could have been done better by my franchise. So just a little bit let down even in how we executed. And like I said, it's enough blame to go around from the very top to the bottom of that roster. I'm talking about everybody. Just kind of left a little bit to be desired in how, you know, even they executed in the losing effort. I think it's a right way, like my mom used to say, to even do the wrong things. And, you know, just disappointed. How about you, Pops?
Same thing here. Was very disappointed in that effort last night. Would like to see them show a little better. 2 of the 4 games they could have won though. They blew that first one, everybody knows, and you know, couple things went wrong in that first game. And that third game they showed up pretty good, but that overall outcome, yeah, I'm a little down about it. You know, life goes on. You know, one of the most important things you know about life can be summed up in 3 words: it goes on. But very disappointed. Stephen A. said they quit last night, Chris. Is that true?
Yeah. And I like I said, I've been around the city a lot throughout this series. I've been in the local spots, and I've been kind of feeling the energy. And like I said, I think a lot of people will are going to summarize this series with a small microcosm of you know, the body of work of the 4 games as a whole. It was short. But a lot of people are summarizing it up as this, and it's the, you know, bungling of the last 4.5 seconds in Game 1 by J.R. Smith. You know, they kind of just summarizing it up as that and making that responsible and making that the series. A lot of people feel like if something different happens in those 4 seconds, you know, that the whole series is different and that maybe we have a different outcome and a different outlook, you know, today here in Cleveland. But, You know, that didn't happen. What happened, happened. I will say this, though. You know, this has kind of been my outlook on it the entire time because, you know, I'm not here to coddle any Hall of Famers, and I'm not here to coddle any superstars, and I'm definitely not here to make any excuses for the baddest man on the planet. I'm talking about LeBron James now, Pops, because I know you get confused sometimes. But I'm not here to make any excuses for him whatsoever. We're talking about a 3-time champion, multiple finals MVP, a several-time league MVP. You got to be able to bounce your team back. I don't care what happens. To me, it's like a bad call, you know, except this time an official didn't make it. A teammate made it. JR made a bad call. You know what I'm saying? Choosing not to be aware, choosing not to know, not to be familiar and engaged in the situation, you know, failing to be active with the ball after making, you know, a pretty good play. He failed to finish it off. That's a bad call on his end. But ultimately, the game was not lost at that point. We had 5 minutes to continue to be the better team because I watched that whole game and we were kicking their ass. We were flat out outplaying them game 1 on their home floor. It was about to be like Mike Tyson said. We was going to really get a chance to see. Everybody got its plan till they get hit in the mouth. Mm-hmm. We was this close to hitting them in the mouth. And then the last second, somebody yelled. His partner yelled to him, and he got out the line of fire. You know what I'm saying? And he saved him. You know, JR let him off the hook. But we was 5 seconds, 4.5 seconds from delivering the greatest shock to Oakland Bay Area system since Pac died. He was about to set it off in that moment. You know what I'm saying? We really, really was. So, you know, but I do, like with all that being said, won't make no excuses. LeBron and the Cavaliers, especially all of those who have rings and know what it means to be champions, you know, it's a greater call than those 5 seconds. And I know we want to try to break it down, but it's even greater than that. I'll let y'all make it because I think game 1 would have been critical when the best man in the world drops 51 and isn't able to come up with a victory. I got to say that that's pivotal. I won't argue with you completely, but don't forget about those other 5 minutes, that OT session. We could not recoup. We could not rebound. And, you know, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable from a 3-time champ. Unacceptable for a 3-time finals MVP. Unacceptable for the best player in the world. You know, arguably the greatest player to ever do it. Because there are some who will argue it. But not me. I think he's a GOAT because he's the greatest of his time. Greatest of his time. But I can no longer argue that this man, you know, or even entertain. Like, I think Charles Barkley said it the best. And he said, any other media guys I see in person trying to argue that LeBron is better than MJ, he said he just going to slap the hell out of him and roll the dice with the judicial system. And they worthy of that. They are. They're very worthy of that, you know, so shout out to Sir Charles. I'm with your ideology because it's just not a conversation. I don't want to see this all on ESPN no more. You do a disrespect to Mike. And I know he's somewhere sitting back like, really? I won 6. He lost 6. And somehow this guy is good as me. No, better than me. Come on, man.
I agree with you, young fella. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Ron Brown was great in game 1, but he failed his team in overtime. He did show a lack of leadership. I'm not going to kill him for being human, though. He's disappointed in what happened with JR. And let's not let George off the hook. In fact, George missed 3 free throws yesterday.
And I think a lot of the reason why, I know one of the reasons why me personally, I'm not putting more emphasis on it is because I know, you know, not to knock him, but LeBron will miss free throws. LeBron has missed clutch free throws.
Yeah, without a doubt.
When a guy who's not the first or even the second best player on the team misses one in a moment that he's ultimately never been in before, I'm not about to eat his lunch for that. Not when we secured an opportunity to be greater, both in the offensive rebound by JR and in a 5-minute OT session in which it was completely lopsided. We had no focus. We had no effort. We did lay down. I mean, it's just tough for me I'm not going to eat that guy's lunch. As well as he played game 1. Because I told guys ahead of the game, and it was kind of my thinking, watch that point guard battle. I felt like, one of the reasons why when we played them the first time it wasn't a sweep, it was because Dellavedova was able to make that point guard battle with Curry, a lot tighter than maybe people thought it should have been. I think that's a big part of it. If Curry completely outplays the other point guard, that's why Chris Paul and the Rockets gave him such a run for their money. When you're able to even up that point guard battle and you don't let Curry run off on you, I think you get a chance. You get a chance to win ultimately in the end. So, I thought George Hill played well, not well enough in the last moments, but no, just too much happened after that. Too many opportunities after that, And the same thing for JR, It's enough blame to go around. Too much opportunity after the fact to try to put it on just that. So disappointing how we reacted to adversity, being champions. We aren't guys looking for a ring. We know what it takes, and just far too short to call of duty in my mind this playoff. So or this finals rather.
Yeah, we didn't respond well, and then
And I will say this though, I don't want to miss this fact because like we said, we noted the date, so everybody knows it actually came out that LeBron, saying he played with a broken hand.
Yeah.
Which is huge,
That's
big.
Huge.
Self-inflicted.
Yep.
But regardless, I understand him being emotional. He did drop 51 and ultimately lost the game. So that guy's got a right to punch something. I wish it would have been somebody's face. That's all I'm saying. A nice soft guy's face. You know what I'm saying? Somebody with a nice fat cheek for him wouldn't have hurt his hand. But yeah, it's unfortunate, and I got a little respect for him digging it out and not even talking about it and just playing through. But
I don't know, man. I don't like wearing a sleeve though. The next day though. The night of the 0-4. Why didn't you wear it all the other nights? What made it so hard? Wow, was you hurting that bad tonight? What was
I don't know. I think as time goes on though, especially if maybe you keep playing with it, keep getting smacked on it, keep trying to use it, swell up. I don't know. Like I said, if it's true. So I speculated a little bit whether or not it was true. It seemed like oftentimes when LeBron James doesn't necessarily play his best, it's always something.
I was just that's what it more to me than anything. It was just let's put something else out there in there.
I kind of believe it was true. Maybe he didn't want to let them know. I would guess that was the reason he was hiding it. He didn't want to let them know that his hand was broken. So I think that was the reason he was hiding it.
Well, perhaps, maybe.
Oh, you don't think it was legit?
I think it was legit.
You questioning your boy, Brown?
I'm not questioning him, but I represent the people, you know what I'm saying? And I understand this room for some speculation there.
Yeah.
And like I said, and that's why, ultimately I gave my opinion and I didn't take nothing back, but I just wanted to put that information out there and acknowledge that, he said it himself, his hand was broken, and that's what the situation was for him after game 1.
So for 2 years straight, you got the Golden State Warriors 3 out of 4 years as your champion, NBA Finals champions. Are they looking like one of the greater teams to ever play?
Hey, you gotta give them credit, man. Gotta give them credit.
Yeah, credit. Let's get it. Let's set the record straight though. Credit to the front office. We have to give credit to the front office and the guys who wear suits and ties and slacks and Oxfords and stuff like that. Those are the guys who have outdone themselves. Those are the guys who are going for the gusto out in the Bay Area. Nobody else. Everybody else is taking it real easy. So they sitting back chilling.
Now, how much respect? I'm gonna ask you, Pops, because I know me and Chris talked earlier. So I want to get your kind of opinion on Kevin Durant. Obviously he's one of the greatest talents we've ever seen. Is he starting to enter that top 10 conversation or top 20 or top 50 conversation? How good as a player is he to you?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
I'm not. Kevin can play, no question about it. One of the best offensive talents probably ever in NBA history. He loses. It was a weak move joining Golden State. Weak move. I'd have to agree with Stephen A. on that one too. Still a weak move, man.
Let me tell you something.
Messed up the league, Chris.
Yeah.
Great for the fans, the fans of San Francisco. Great for that franchise, but great for the Bay Area fans. But man, weak move, man. Kevin should have. I'm not telling you he had to go to Golden State, but anybody but Golden State, I wouldn't have had a problem with him going to.
Yeah, I thought he should have went to DC.
But for him to join a
stayed
team
in
that just
OKC.
won 73 games, to kind of shift the balance, that profoundly, man, it's a joke, man.
But are you going to hold that against him, though,
man.
his whole
I'm
career?
I'm going to hold it
though,
against
man.
him.
I'm
I'm going to
was
hold
a-
it against him.
You certainly are, because that is your career ultimately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Weak move, man.
But it was a weak move when Ray went to the Heat, man. That was a weak move. It was something different. I thought
it was weak when LeBron went to Miami.
It was completely cowardice.
Hey, I
what
thought it was
Kevin
weak.
Durant did.
Hey, I thought it was weak when LeBron went to Miami, but now this whole
All right.
thing done bit him
Fair
in the
enough.
behind.
But
Fair enough.
if your goal
I
is to
agree.
win
Fair
championships,
enough.
why is it a weak move?
Oh, come on,
Because you diminish the spirit of competition.
Come on,
The
Dad.
goal is to win a championship, but only because that means you have dominated the competition, not joining the competition. Let me make something clear to you, and that's why these rings, all of these rings, that
They ain't
they
even
get with
legit,
Kevin
man.
Durant,
For
all of
Durant,
these rings
yeah,
that
them
they get
legit-
with Durant,
they ain't
gotta
legit.
have an asterisk by 'em.
There
Well,
you
so
go.
why
It's the point that I
so
was
what do
about
y'all got to
make.
say
Hold
to the
on.
rest of the league?
I'm about to say a few things. Like I said, it's two different parts of this business. It's the things that go on the court, the actual execution of the game and of the product, and then it's the setup of the game and the management of the product. And that's what's going on in the front office. It's two different games. Now those boys in that front office, they playing an absolutely lopsided game. They killing. And it's trickled onto the court in the most profound way. In a way that I thought that the league was supposed to be protecting its product and protecting us, the fans and the viewers from. That was the reason why he vetoed Chris Paul from going to the Lakers, several years back, right?
Okay.
What happened here? This is terrible for basketball. This is a terrible
Why
final.
is it terrible for basketball?
Because it's diminished the sense of competition. The very thing. that
Why?
the
Because the
NBA
best player in the league quit?
No, because the best player in the league had to go up against a team with the second best player in the league, and arguably the best point guard in the league, and arguably the best shooting guard in the league, and arguably the best defensive player in the league. All of them are on the same team.
So
it diminishes the sense of competition. It diminishes the very nature of competition.
if you wasn't on playing in Golden State, why not? Why aren't other teams trying to beat him? We're just gonna go in. And to me, Houston before Chris Paul.
Because we
got hurt-
getting paid. That's why. Silly question. Because we get paid to play. This is not the rec. We get paid to play. That's why.
Okay,
Because
we get paid to
ultimately-
play, and I love the game, and I want to beat this team that y'all think is the best team to ever be assembled.
Come on, man. Everybody
partially the best team to be assembled.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And
Chris Paul didn't look like he was scared.
And maybe it's LeBron James' fault for raising the bar so much and being great for so long that literally, like, what people feel like is competition for him is, like, so great that it's, like, absolutely out of this world.
Dez, you don't think it was a weak move at all?
I think it's weakened by other people just to give up.
I don't know nobody giving. Who gave up besides us last night? Who gave up? I mean, I think everybody's trying to beat him, but it's just, to me, he made it so hard, man. I mean, it's just
Life is hard though.
Yeah, I understand, but it's just that that was a weak move.
I don't know.
man.
He phoned it in to me.
th-
That's like suicide
yeah,
on Kevin
this was the
Durant's
team
behalf.
that
He
beat
didn't
him.
overcome life
Yeah.
in any way.
He lost a lot of
committed
respect.
suicide.
Everybody
Like,
knows it was a weak move.
He really gave it up. He's not competing for anything. Look, Jeff Van Gundy said something last night during the telecast that I thought really embodied. He said, man, you playing with virtually no pressure out there in reference to Golden State. He said, if you open, you shoot it. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't.
Dez, that team won 73 games that year.
Mm-hmm.
And they get the second best player in the league joins them.
I understand that, but y'all talking about competitiveness. Okay, he did what he did. But what
Hey,
about the rest of the
listen,
league?
Listen, man, we've already admitted that there were some shortcomings in sense of effort. That's what I opened the show with. That was my opening remarks. I said, hey, you know what? It's some regrettable things about how it's a right way to even do the wrong thing. It's some regrettable things about how we lost, in terms of effort. We didn't give our greatest effort, and I'm talking about you. LeBron James. I've already called him out by name here.
Mm-hmm.
We've already knocked that part out. Now we moving on to this. Now we talking about the other details. I'm talking about the things that led up to this situation.
Okay, that's a good point. Well, then let's get to it then. It's front offices. You just said it's two parts of the game.
Absolutely.
The Cleveland ball for front office dropped the ball at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Dropped the ball, and with the trade with Kyrie, with managing Kyrie for the past, Kyrie to even think about leaving the team that just went to the finals for 3 years, they dropped the ball. I remember, what was it, 2 years ago or last year?
Even after that, I think they mismanaged what they got for. I think for one, we should have sent Isaiah back. Well, let's start off where the problems really happened. First things first, Dan Gilbert should have put his ego to the side and let Griffin do his job.
I agree. Griffin should still be here.
Griffin should still be here. And when Griffin left, that's when all the fumbling started happening.
I agree.
That's really for the Cleveland fans. Let me say that for my city and for the outside folks who don't know. This is how we're viewing things. From the fans, this is how it's being viewed. When Griffin was let go, that's when the fumbling started happening in our front office. We went from a team who seemingly couldn't miss with free agent acquisition.
Hold on. I'm not going to say that. Griffin fumbled the ball too. He signed 2 bad contracts with Tristan and JR, and we stuck with him.
No, but that was LeBron's fault. He literally almost had no choice.
That's who he start with, LeBron James. As much as he brought to the franchise, his relationship with Kyrie should have been better. Kyrie should have never wanted to get out, and I think LeBron.
You can't help how a man feel,
you
can
can
only be yourself.
You can. If LeBron treated him in such a way, or if all the rumors are true, Chris, that hey, he heard LeBron wanted him traded, LeBron treated him like his little brother, LeBron could have done a little better job with Kyrie Irving. That's why LeBron talking out of both sides of his mouth when he's talking about that they traded Kyrie Irving. He's culpable, Chris. You got to own that, Chris.
Listen.
He's culpable.
I opened the show and said it's enough blame to go around.
Yeah, but on this Kyrie thing, he's absolutely culpable.
Sure, but let's not. I don't want the issues to leak back too far, because then we end up talking about things that we've discussed that thoroughly on Gamepoint Podcast. But that is a part of it.
That's a big part of it.
But when we talking about the front office. When we talking about the front office here.
But Chris, if his relationship with Kyrie is better, or whatever the dynamics between those two was better, Kyrie never wants to leave here.
Pops, I agree with you 100%.
But even if Kyrie was here, we dropped the ball in other areas.
Yeah, we was putting some emphasis on the front office. Now you're getting back to things that happen in the locker room and things that happen on the court. I want to put a little emphasis on what happens in suits and ties at those conference rooms. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, this whole ideology of LeBron James runs the Cleveland Cavaliers, if we talk about the front office, I think that's why somebody has to nip that in the butt. Like, hey, LeBron, we understand you're the best player. You definitely got to be in the conversation, but ultimately we're going to make the decisions. I feel like somewhere that has changed.
I don't even know if it's that. I think it's we're going to make the decisions together. Because LeBron has shown if you give him what he asked for, he can't.
They gave him what he asked for.
Did they?
You had JR and Tristan out there.
No, because he was asking for some elements. You know what I'm saying? He put some names out there, but he was asking for some elements. And ultimately, Tristan is somebody we needed Tristan's effort to get to the finals.
He wanted Kyle Korver here.
Point blank period. And Kyle Korver, he showed us some things and he contributed. Not like Kyle Korver is one of those guys. He like a speedster. I compare him to a speedster on the NFL field. He don't necessarily have to make catches to affect the game, affect the defense. We saw him affect the defense with the dunks and the layups for guys like Nance and Tristan. He opens up the floor. He opens up driving lanes for LeBron, point blank period. That is why LeBron asked for shooters of his caliber, like Mike Miller in the past, like Ray Allen in the past, like so many guys, because he knows directly. He watches it on film. What he can do and the effect they can have on the game and what he can do with it. He's already seen it.
Hold on, because we started off with the Kevin Durant thing. We went to the front office. I guess, so are y'all never going to give Kevin Durant credit because he made one decision?
He never get full credit, no.
So he can never be a top 10 player? He can never be a top 10?
I don't think he could ever be a top 25.
Put that asterisk by them championships.
With so many guys, with so many guys went through. I know a guy like Patrick Ewing. is looking like, man, you don't think I could have done that? You don't think I had opportunities to do that? You don't think I could have? You a fool. You don't think it was money there and everything there for me to do it? You're a fool. But like I say, man, at some point, man, every man got to be standing on something. And all it does, it's revealing to what Kevin Durant really stands on. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You gotta. I don't know why you play sports, but I didn't start playing sports till I was a little bit older. You understand? Not organized, but I fell in love with sports. Man, it was the competition, trying to show another man, hey, I'm better than you in this fashion. You know, not as a man, not as a person, but right here on this field, trying to achieve these things in pads and cleats or, Jordans and shorts. I'm better than you, bro. You can't stop me. I'm going to do what I want to you anytime I want to do it. Hey, and that's just what it is.
But at the time, though, was he competing with Golden State or was he competing with LeBron James when he went to Golden State? Because I was coming off our championship, right?
I feel like ultimately, man, to be completely honest, I don't know who he wasn't. He stopped competing when he went to Golden State. That's what I'm saying.
Man, I'm agreeing with the young fella today. I'm agreeing with the young fella today.
You missing it, Des. He stopped competing when he went to Golden State. He stopped competing. He was competing with LeBron. He was competing with ultimately the giant that was the Warriors. Everybody was, competing with the Warriors. Kevin Durant was one of them. He was about to slam in their own conference. He was really about to do it. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna have to call that, one of the better finals runs coming out that Wild Wild West had he did that.
So we're gonna let this one decision never let him be a top 10 player.
Yes, it's that big.
Because his game 3 was one of the best performances I've ever seen.
But it's that big. It's that big. Yeah, but look at how he was able to do it. He didn't have to get it like Kobe got it over a bunch of double teams. He didn't have to get it with LeBron got it with the whole court shifted to you. He didn't have to get it like that.
I'm agreeing with the young fella.
Come on, man. What they said? He said he felt like he was back at Rucker Park. Oh my goodness! If that don't seem too easy for you.
Whatever he does, you got to put an asterisk by it.
Park?
Got to put an asterisk by it.
Come on, now you told on yourself.
It's a weak move, Des.
Come on now.
Weak move.
You back at Rucker Park?
Come on, Kev. Everybody in the NBA knows. And everybody in the NBA
playing against LeBron James. Like I said, I just keep going back to what Jeff. Hey, virtually no pressure. If you open, you shoot it. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't.
All right, so let's get off Golden State. What do you want the rest of the league to do?
They got to do their best.
No, listen. Right. Exactly.
You said they got to do their best?
Yeah.
That's about all you can.
One thing I don't want them to do, though, I can't say what I don't want them to do. I don't want them to follow suit. Isolate them and make them be the only ones who did it. Don't let it be 2 or 3 teams after them who kind of loaded it. Don't do that.
Well, Boston loaded. Not in the way that Golden State did.
Yeah, totally different. No. It's an overkill situation. It's a different. Like, we've seen good teams. I mean, we've seen great teams assemble. Great teams win. If you don't have a superstar the stature of Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or it's not a whole lot of guys who didn't need to be on a great team. It's not a whole lot of guys.
Well, I guess
I've always told you the concept. To me, is when LeBron did it, I didn't like it. Not only because he left here, but it's just like going to the playground and getting the 5 best guys, and we gonna roll all day. I never liked that, and I don't like it in the NBA.
I will say this though,
but he's in the conversation for the GOAT though.
LeBron linked up, but here's the difference: Chris Bosh was good, but he wasn't in the top 10 in the NBA.
Top 20.
Okay, cool. That's a good team.
So you saying what?
Just like Larry Bird. A lot. Some people he considered to be the greatest white boy baller ever. Guess what? His whole career he played alongside a bunch of other Hall of Famers.
But those teams were already, they were kind of put together by the front. And I'm torn kind of.
I'm not gonna say this is a players' league.
I kind of like player empowerment. I kind of like that.
Me too.
I kind of like that.
Control of your own destiny.
But I don't like the playground mentality. We gonna all load up on the same team and run roughshod over the league. I don't like that.
But LeBron had just lost And LeBron, for one, he was in a situation where he wasn't being given help. Kevin Durant was playing alongside a guy who had just won the MVP the previous year.
No, man.
Or
he won it the year after Kevin Durant left.
I thought Kevin Durant got hurt and then Russell won it.
No, he won it. He won it last year.
He was in the running for it.
Yeah. Well, he had a
guy who was in the running.
He had a top 7 or 8 player on his team already. It's just, to me, it was a weak move.
It's help. Put it like that's the point I'm trying to make.
Man, I can get paid and win championships, man. I ain't mad at Kevin Durant. Come beat me.
God,
Come beat me. Come beat me.
Oh yeah, okay.
Come beat me.
We did in Oklahoma City. We did beat you. I mean, he had to join a 73-win team.
You've already
weak move, Des. Weak move. If every player spoke honestly, they'd tell man, Kevin has a weak move.
Hey,
everybody
and you know what?
And
I know it's times, man. I know it's times where you try to, you say something and you try to get to talking smack or something, and they say, "What, man? If you don't shut up, man, shut up, man."
Well, do something then. That's what I'm saying, man. You could beat the team, man. Houston just showed y'all, man. They're beatable. You can fight with this team. I don't see them being an unstoppable team. They've showed, man. But I've seen teams give it up.
I think next year, though, I mean, even if Houston is able to retain Chris Paul, I think they'll be woke to Houston. And they'll play him harder next year, and it won't be as close.
Well, tell me this then. Since y'all talking about weak moves, if LeBron goes to Houston or Philly, is that a weak move?
No, because it's in response. He just even in the playing field.
Yeah, all right.
He trying to even the playing field. But what did I just say? I said I don't want other guys to do it.
Yeah,
but it's hard. This your career. This your legacy. It's hard to sit back and let these guys keep winning it.
Yeah, because the years are passing. The years are passing. But if LeBron does it, it's kind of a weak move too. But he's doing it in response. I think.
Yeah, it's in response.
Well, Kevin Durant responded.
And you know what? But I think
what did he respond to, Dad?
Listen though,
he had a great team.
Check this out though, and I think LeBron at the end of the day, he looked at a guy like Tim Duncan, and LeBron he gave us 7 years before he left, and he said, okay, now I look at a guy like Tim Duncan. He's been in the league, probably about.
Chris, LeBron's move was weak too, man. Come on.
Listen, I'm just trying to put it.
Now it's biting him in the behind.
Well, hey, it was guys. However these teams come about, at the end of the day, can we all agree that the league can get lopsided? Because the Spurs, I mean, you got to think about it. If LeBron would have signed another 5-year deal with the Cavs, 4 or 5-year deal, and then ultimately the same thing still happens, and the Spurs end up getting Kawhi. Like a few years later, tell me that's really fair. Like whoever we would have had, but you got to think wouldn't have been the opportunity to draft nobody good now because we go into the playoffs.
Man, so many woulda, coulda, shoulda. Because we would have got a reason. We would have had a reason.
I'm just saying. He's saying, okay, now I know how y'all got y'all team. Y'all drafted them. Okay, cool. Well, it's something called a banana boat. We gonna have a banana boat draft. So we gonna draft our team out there in Nicaragua somewhere. That's what we gonna do. Now, you playing president? I'm good enough. I want to play president too. Now I'm just got enough sense and I got enough clout to actually be able to do it. Tell me what's wrong with it. I didn't go get y'all. Still got all y'all guys. We still got it's still good teams in the East. They ain't as good as us now. But I mean, I just went and got with one other real good dude, and that was Dwayne Wade.
Ain't Chris, man, you
ain't Chris Paul. I mean, ain't Chris Bosh. Chris
don't give him no credit.
Chris Bosh was good, but you got to think what they with Bosh didn't even hardly.
Chris, it was 3 of the top 20 players in the league on that team, man.
Yeah, it was.
Come on, man.
It was.
Bron talked about winning 8 championships.
All right, so let me ask you about
this. He was that confident. He thought they'd win 8 championships.
1, 2, not 3.
Let me ask you this.
He got 2.
And he got 2, and one of them got an asterisk by. Well, both of them got asterisks by it.
Let me ask you this.
One was a strike sorting season.
Was Manu Ginobili a top 20 player in the league at that time?
Not a top 20, but he's a great player.
No, he was a top 20 player. Yeah, he was. He was a top 20 player.
So then y'all get mad at the front offices. We drafted him. We drafted him.
From the 2 guard, it was Kobe, it was Dwayne Wade, and then it was Manu Ginobili. Arguably.
I don't know if I can say that. Because what year are we talking about?
I mean, we talking about the year that they all linked up. I'm just trying to secure, okay, we know what the Heat had. Now let's talk about what San Antonio
Manu wouldn't
had.
have been a top 3 guard when the Heat was playing.
Yeah, he would have.
No, Chris.
No, Joe Johnson was a
Monty
bad boy.
Man,
Joe Johnson was.
Hell no. I mean, listen. No, man.
What you?
You
Nah.
talking about some guys who ain't never even been to the playoffs hardly. Versus a guy who done been in the playoffs going at it, Dragon's breath with Kobe Bryant?
You telling me?
Man, shut your face, man.
I doubt that. I doubt he was the third best shooting guard in the league.
Let me ask you this.
I doubt that.
Pops, do you recall him going toe-to-toe, bucket for bucket with Kobe Bryant?
Mano was a bad boy. I don't know about top 3, Chris. Come on, man.
I said, do you recall him going toe-to-toe
Yes, I do,
with
Chris.
Kobe?
Yes. Manu was a
Bryant.
bad boy. I don't know about top 3.
How long ago was that, man? What you talking about?
That wasn't that long ago. I mean, the Heat, when the Heat was first assembled, that was a long time ago.
Man, you talking about 2007?
Diz, you don't see nothing
was
weak
7
about
years ago.
what Kevin did.
I do, but I think it's weak for the rest of the league to give up, and that's front offices and players included.
I don't think anybody's giving up.
Yeah.
No, I do. We just talked about the Cavs giving up.
Well, they quit last night. Yeah.
They quit in overtime.
It's enough blame to go around. Let's not talk this point into the dirt. What do y'all see for LeBron moving forward? Obviously, we saw what this year brought us. Great playoffs. Was hopefully, definitely anticipating maybe a little bit more competitive finals, especially after the showing from game 1. But ultimately, we fall short in a major way, and nobody's happy. What is it that LeBron James, what do y'all think he should do, could do, will do moving forward to try to close this gap a little bit?
It is so hard to tell at this point. I guess the answer could, should, would. I hope he stays in Cleveland. But it could be a completely different landscape in the
Do
NBA.
you blame him if he leaves?
No.
I'm inviting all of our listeners to tune in. Let Gamepoint Podcast know what exactly it is that you think about LeBron, his future. And do you blame him for it? Do you blame him if he leaves? Do you necessarily want him to stay? I know I'm at a point now to where, like I said, this is his legacy. And I know it. I feel like he was the best guy on the court. It sucks to be in a position where you're the best guy on the court and you don't really have a chance to win. That sucks. Definitely not a legitimate chance. Or the fact that any chance that you do have is pretty much based solely and entirely on your merits and your capabilities as a player. That sucks. Because that's literally it sucks not to have any help against any challenge. But the greatest challenge, maybe of all time, that's tough.
Chris, wait a minute, man. Hold on. This narrative, year after year that plays out, that I've heard for the last 8 years, that LeBron doesn't have any help. I heard the same thing down in Miami.
All right. And
I heard the same thing down in Miami.
I ain't going to say all of that. I wasn't one of those guys. But this year, surely you're not going to try to argue that point right now.
This was probably his weakest team. This was his weakest team. But for the last 3 years, he's had Kyrie Irving.
Pops, your timing is off.
Oh,
you a day late and $1 short with that argument.
Give me a break,
now, I'm going to
man.
give you a chance early to shut it down.
Oh, my
That's
God.
all I'm going to say.
That narrative is so
Pops,
played and tired of hearing it, man.
Pops,
He's
that's
had
all
help.
I'ma say.
He's had help. That's why
Not
Kyrie.
this year.
That's what Kyrie
Not
said.
this year.
He said, "What is he saying about me if he ain't got no help? What is he saying about me if he ain't got no help? I ain't chopped liver." Kyrie was one of the top players in the league. Kevin Love was supposed to be one of the best players in the league.
I can't wait till he actually
Give me a break,
again,
man.
You love to talk about Kyrie.
Give me a break.
He
LeBron
gone.
ain't had no
Pops,
help,
he
man.
gone. He ain't coming back.
I've
Sorry.
heard, when we
Maybe
won
you
the
should move to
championship,
Boston.
you know who a lot of people say was the MVP of that series? Kyrie Irving. Don't give me a break that LeBron ain't had no help. Come on, man. They almost won 2 of the games this series. LeBron didn't beat him by himself now. He's had some help. No, he ain't got a stacked team like Golden State, but he's had some help.
He's had enough to win.
He's had enough to win.
He had enough to win this year.
We're talking about the big games, though, against Golden State.
In 2015, Chris.
And then you got to think about
Chris.
it. Look at what he's doing.
Chris.
Put anybody else on this team. Who else can deliver
Chris,
that?
they said the same thing down in Miami that his teammates didn't come through, man. Come on, man. He had his boys. He had Dwayne Wade down there. They say, oh, he ain't got enough help. How much? I'm like Barkley and them. How much help do the guy need? This year it's legit. But year after year, man, no matter. Now, next year, if he joins up with a team.
Your timing off, Pop.
Oh, come on, man. And what is help? Paul George was supposed to be this great help to Russell Westbrook. How did he perform in the playoffs? In their final game? He performed terribly. Give me a break, man. Give me a break. He ain't had enough. Hell, man had Kevin Love and
Kyrie
Irving.
I bet
by
you if
his
we would
side.
have had Paul George, we would have took him 7. That's all I'm gonna say.
What are you doing with
If
LeBron
LeBron James would have had Paul George, we would have took him 7.
What he do with Russell?
If LeBron
give
James
me a
would have
break.
had Paul George, we would have took him 7.
Man, Paul George, most overrated superstar in this league, man.
Yep, but that's all LeBron James would have needed to take him 7.
I know.
I'm telling you.
He ain't gonna put up
Probably
40.
would've won.
Hey, he ain't gonna put up 40 like Kyrie did. I guarantee you that.
Hey, but Brian ain't gonna need him to, because guess what? He's better than he was when he was with Kyrie. So now Brian, he don't need you to drop 40 with him. He could just pour 60 on their head and keep it pushing. He could drop 50 something on them and keep it pushing.
Oh, so if they link up in LA, I guess they gonna win the championship next year.
I think they're gonna definitely have a shot.
Well, what y'all want to see in free agency? I know me and Chris was talking earlier a lot about teams that we would like to see a superstar go to. Chris brought up Utah a few times. That I guess what do y'all want to see in free agency this year, and what team do y'all want to see maybe make a big push in free agency to be in the finals next year?
Well, first of all, I'd like LeBron James to stay here. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay. So if LeBron James stay here, what else do the Cavs do?
I think the
in the
Warriors
offseason?
need to disband. That'll help. If the Warriors disband and Clay can go somewhere, just give up Clay. If Clay goes somewhere, if Clay go to Portland or Clay go to Utah,
Chris,
Clay
they
go
gonna
to
stay.
the Lakers.
Chris, they staying together. Clay's already talking about taking less money to stay there.
Oh my goodness,
Come on, man. They gonna try to keep that together, man.
that's gonna be really disappointing.
Hey, man, like I say, Kevin messed up the league for everybody else but the Bay Area fans. That's what I keep saying. But I'd like to see, I don't know what Paul George is going to do. You guys think he's going to stay in OKC?
I can't call it. I guess what do you want to see is the question.
I ain't gonna lie though. At this point, I think that you gotta, especially if you Paul George, somebody who you've already shown you don't necessarily have the chops to carry a team on your own. Not even just to the playoffs, let alone to the finals.
Yeah, Indiana was better without the guy, wasn't it?
It's a certain it's a certain
Oh,
quota of talent that you want to play with, and I think Russell Westbrook, he accounts for a lot of that talent that you want to play with. It's just about coming together in a way, and then Russell showed he was a guy willing to try some different things to try to win. We saw him trying to take less shots. We saw him trying to be more efficient, and he kind of abandoned those things when he felt like it wasn't working. But I think with a better, tighter plan, a better, tighter system, more familiarity, maybe you could kind of keep working that situation. Because I still think, Russell Westbrook definitely has the Warriors. He got their number. It's something about that Kevin Durant rivalry matchup that just, it drives him in a way that I don't think few guys can get up for the matchup the way that Russell Westbrook can. Point blank, period. And we
what do you want to see from them in the
final.
offseason? What do you want to see from OKC?
Well, they better try to retain Paul George first.
What about Klay Thompson going to OKC?
Yeah, I think it's
Where y'all getting that from?
I'm just saying things that can happen.
Yeah.
What is interesting to you?
It's easy to talk about what you will and won't do, but
Why would
so much
Golden
money
State
get on
lose
the
any
table?
of their core four, as they say? Why would they lose?
Okay,
lose any
you
of those
said
guys?
Klay willing to lose money. Hey, Klay, we got $200 million for you. You gonna turn that down?
You got 3 already. Now go ahead and you got 3 already. You're already a champion.
One thing,
now,
he's not a free
lock
agent this
yourself
year.
in.
He's not a free agent this
He's
year.
not a free agent.
Clay's not.
No.
Oh,
He
I
got
thought he
one more
was.
year left. No. The prominent free agents are
Jimmy Butler.
No, Jimmy Butler's locked in.
No.
Paul
Jimmy
George and
Butler.
LeBron probably the biggest
Yeah, that's
two.
it. Paul
What about
George
Cousins?
And LeBron
Cousins.
and Boogie. That's it.
No, I think Jimmy Butler.
What
is-
about
Oh,
Chris?
Chris.
What about Chris?
And Chris Paul. 34 years old. Well, you gonna give Chris Paul $247 million or whatever? Come on, man.
If you was the Cavs, would you try to get Chris Paul here?
Yeah,
Not at that price.
I don't think you would want that much because we would need obviously some other pieces.
Not at that price.
I think you would take a little cut. I think you would to play with LeBron.
They say he wants the max money. Come on, man.
After what he just showed,
Yeah.
he's still the baddest point guard in the league.
What did he do, dude?
Oh, Chris Paul was phenomenal this play.
Oh.
I was gonna say he was the best player in the Western Conference Finals until he got hurt.
Yeah, okay.
Agreed.
He was the best player.
Okay.
And that's against your mighty Golden State Warriors.
He'll be 33 going on 34 next year.
Oh, he's definitely. Yeah.
I
I couldn't sign him to no. Hey, but 2 years
you
maybe.
gonna give him $250 million?
I might give him 2 years, whatever he want.
Yeah, okay. We don't have that kind of cap space, there.
2 years, maybe.
Well, that's where the front office got to come in.
We can massage it to 140, 2 years, 140. Let him get the player option. I think that'll be.
Said 2 years, 140.
Yeah.
That's $70 million a year, Chris. What you talking about?
How you gonna get him to take less money?
That's not NBA. Ain't nobody getting $70 million a year, Chris.
Chris,
what you talking about?
Chris?
We gonna have to give him $70 million. 2 years, 70.
Yeah, that's more
years,
accurate.
80.
Oh, come on, man. For Chris Paul, come
So
on.
y'all think Chris stay? Y'all think Chris stay?
I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what Houston gonna do. I wouldn't give him no 5 years and no $250 million a year. I mean, 250.
I agree. I couldn't do it either.
Oh, heck no. And he get hurt every year too. Give me a break.
Well, this year he had to get hurt because he had to carry the team on his back.
We had James Harden there, the MVP.
Well, you saw what James did.
I ain't gonna lie, James. He definitely locked in the questions about what he can do. And when the biggest moments, he locked those questions in, and now they very fair to ask.
Eric Gordon was a better player than James Harden in a lot of those games, man. Eric Gordon looked way more consistent than what James.
I think James Harden. I don't know. I think that little matchup. I'm not gonna say the matchup. The ideology that what's that coach?
D'Antoni
has given him about those threes. Kind of hurt his game a little bit because now that's all he want to do is shoot threes.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like James Harden at one point he
was like over 24 for the.
He had a little mid-range game with the pick and roll. He would come off, and sauce to that high foul line area and knock down shots. He don't do any of that anymore. It's like all the way to the hole, looking for the foul, looking for the layup or a three. And so oftentimes, far too much, it's a three.
Mm-hmm.
Or he almost like splitting those shots up, like 50-50 pretty much. Like, but if you're not hitting a three ball, that you're gonna miss some layups, you're gonna not get some calls. The defense is gonna make some plays. If you got those shots, split up 50-50, 60-40, and maybe some nights for the three ball, that hurt your percentage. That hurt your looks. The looks you taking is so often just not good looks, and it's not like he a guy who as we see a guy get hit in the Indians game, take a homer to the face. That was tough. But yeah, you just gotta be able to come up with better looks than that. I miss the Kobe Bryant ideology that all right, every now and then when something happens, now it's time to get something good. It's not time to necessarily take a three or not time to necessarily even shoot it myself. It's just time to get something good, a good shot, something that's easy for me to make or a good shot for me. Threes, I don't know why. I know guys I get the ideology of the numbers game, but a three at the end of the day, hey, this shot 30 feet away from the basket, buddy. Like, this is not a great shot. It's closer places to take a shot from. And I don't know. I'm waiting for that to come back. They say, all things do is work themselves from one end of the spectrum to the other. Well, I'm waiting for things, this three thing I understand it's going to stay at a certain level and maintain at a certain level because of the pace of the league and where they want things to go, this, that, and the third, the ideologies with all of the numbers and different things like that. But I'm waiting for things to work back, with players like Joel Embiid and hopefully big man who just continue to get more and more talented as we see. I was just looking at a kid on YouTube today, 6'7", 14 years old, handle, pass, shoot it like nobody's business. As the players continue to get bigger and more talented, I think that we'll see things kind of work their way back to the paint, or at least the paint starting to become paint play and a mid-range game and just more around the hole. You're going to see that start to revert back to being more of an emphasis right now, where we see the three-point shooting kind of dominating.
So y'all ain't got no free agency talk, man. Y'all just gonna let it happen?
Yeah, got to. We don't know what anybody's doing.
The finals just ended.
Well, Chris, you in Bron's camp. What's he gonna do? You go ahead and tell me what you think he's gonna do. What's gonna happen with LeBron James, young fella?
He's gone. He's gone.
He's out?
He's out.
Why do you say that, Chris?
Cavs just aren't in a position to put them to make them competitive against the Golden State Warriors. That's where a lot of the quit that we've been talking about and the giving up came from. That's where the frustration that caused him to ultimately break his own hand after game one. Just frustrated, and ultimately, we can say different things, but when you are one thing that we all seems to be unanimous amongst us all, and unanimous around the league and amongst his peers, he's the greatest player in the game today. I mean, even the Warriors kind of admitted that. In the midst of sweeping them in the finals, he's the greatest player in the game today. He's the baddest man on the planet with the basketball. And you get to dictate what you need.
Where's he going, Chris?
I don't know. I think he likes Philly a lot. I just can't. I keep thinking about that press conference where they told him about them billboards, and he's like, that's really cool. That's cool. That's cool.
So he's staying in the East, huh?
I think so. That this is his domain. He knows these guys. He knows the road to the finals. I mean, I feel like he already knows who he's going to have in the finals. He knows what that task is going to be like. I think he's going to keep it familiar. He understands the road to the finals, even as the climate starts to change a little bit in the East and tide shift.
Why not go to Boston?
Because Kyrie's there. You know what I mean?
Do they have the cap space to get that? Because that's the second time I've heard that. To make that happen, they could get LeBron?
I'm sure they could make some trades.
Because of Gordon Hayward, I feel like.
I'm sure they can make some trades.
Yeah.
Or even though it would work with us with a side and trade.
Nah, y'all been talking about weak this whole thing. Now, that's not weak.
Yeah, it's weak.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, it's in response, though. Like,
it's in response. It's in response.
Hey, y'all got LeBron back, man. Look, I see, man.
So it's like this. If you one man and you get jumped by 4-5 guys, it's weak for you to go get your cousins and go see what's popping? You weak? Come on, man. Shut up.
This is basketball, man. That's two different situations,
man. No, it's the same thing.
It's two different situations.
It bit him in the behind what he did with Miami, in my opinion.
But do you get what I just said?
Yeah,
right?
I exactly got exactly.
The difference was, though, he didn't go out there by himself. He didn't get jumped.
He did.
You had your partners. I had my partners. We lost. No. And most of my partners quit.
All right.
And the best fighter quit, too.
That's like you 18, right? You 18, and you with your little brother and his friends, you was up there working them out at the rec. And they like in the 6th and 7th grade. And a bunch of 8th graders beat y'all up. You ain't supposed to go get your grown partners who in high school with you and go see what's up? Come on, man. You know the disparity. Kevin Durant did that in competition. I'm just trying to bring the sense
Well, what
of
about the one-on-one
back.
matchup between? I understand that they were switching a lot, man, but at one point, I mean, at the end of the day, Durant was LeBron's man. Durant was LeBron's man, and he had 43.
Okay, and you go isolate instances, but at the end of the day, you got to look at the big picture. Now, Durant is somebody you don't have to guard nobody because y'all got people to guard all the
LeBron was guarding him until Iguodala got back.
Man, KD don't have to do nothing. You don't got no load to carry on offense.
Chris, he was checking LeBron James.
Man, yeah, he don't have. Man, he can lock in for LeBron for however many minutes the matchup is because he don't have to make no shots to keep him in the game. Like, I got guys like Curry can carry us or Draymond can run the offense, like, and I don't have to even touch the ball for real.
Hey, Chris, but it goes back to what I told you weeks ago. Chris, let me get this point in like I told you. LeBron James got to be the best player on the floor. In several playoff games, he wasn't, and that's unacceptable.
Man, okay.
That never happened with MJ. Right. Never.
I don't want to bring up MJ.
Never.
That prompts another
KD. This is the second straight year KD has been the best player on the floor several games, and LeBron wasn't.
I disagree with you.
Oh, come
on.
LeBron
was only the best player on the court for game one.
That was it, Chris.
And at the most crucial time of the game, he wasn't the best player in overtime.
In game two, he's the third best player on the floor. Behind Steph and KD.
KD didn't play like nothing in game two.
He played decent, Chris. Come on now.
He didn't. No, he didn't. He played terrible.
Oh, my God.
He did. That's why he came with game three. He played terrible in game two.
He ain't played terrible in game two, man.
But by his standard.
He's better than LeBron.
Man, listen, all I'm going to say is, what y'all need to understand is when you got so much help around you, it take pressure off you.
I agree.
It take pressure off you and allow you to assert yourself in ways that can tell lies about.
What about that
how
quit?
things
What
go.
about that quit he got in his tank, Chris? What you got to say about that?
Hey, and that's why I said
I told you
he can never
3,
be
4
better
weeks.
than Jordan.
LeBron got some quit in him.
I knew that's something that I know about him too. But
He got some quit in him, man.
that's something that I know about him too. You know, you didn't tell me about that. That's something I've recognized.
Yeah, I know. You
And
think Allen
it
Iverson will
is.
quit? You think Michael Jordan will quit? No matter what
Like
the
I said,
odds.
I've never accused LeBron of being the greatest competitor the game has ever seen.
You could never say that.
Yeah, that's one thing and I never would. He's not. He's not.
He got some quit in
He's
him.
not a get in your face nasty type of guy. Like he's not.
You
but-
back him into a corner, you stay in that corner sometimes, and that's a shame with that talent. Bron, I had to keep it real, Bron. You got some quit in you, bro.
Only reason why I don't feel like that is because Golden State, they felt like they had him back into the corner when they won 73 games. And he whooped them. He came back and he whooped them.
That's the one time he didn't quit. That's the one time he didn't
Can
quit.
I say something? Because check this out. We can sing together, but we can't talk together. I'll let you say your piece. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
They won 73 games. They had that man down 3-1. And what he did to him still resonated in such a way. They didn't feel like it was lucky. What he did to them boys resonated in such a way. They said, we need to go and we need to sign. We can't sign him. We know he won't come. Who's after him? Who's the next name after him? We got to go sign him. We got to. Man, they courted that dude hard. He didn't, they wanted each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they said what's name was courting him during the season, remember?
Draymond.
Yeah, Draymond was courting him during the season.
And all of it's true.
And that was all in response to LeBron. If they don't, I believe they don't sign KD. If say KD ain't there last year, we beat him.
No, I don't. Not like it was. Like they did the whole Kyrie situation, and then KD coming. Man, those two things combined. I
Do
think
you agree, Chris?
What?
If KD wasn't there last year, we would have beat him.
Yeah, absolutely. But absolutely. I don't. Yeah, absolutely. But I think that the Kyrie situation ultimately, and Kevin Durant opting to go to Golden State, it robbed the sport of basketball and the NBA of probably one of the most profitable and most prolific rivalries that the game has ever seen. They be trying to call this a rivalry. No, I just see him a lot. This is not a rivalry. It's not a rivalry. But yeah, that I ain't got nothing else to say about basketball or LeBron. It's a really wait and see type situation. Shout out to my Cavs fans. It's been a wild year. It was a wild ride getting here, man. And as I watch more sports and I get older and I see these moments, I just say, man, you just got to enjoy these guys, man, and enjoy what they doing out there. That's what sports is about. Watching guys thrive, watching teams thrive, and then enjoying the runs. And this was a hell of a run this year back to the finals. I still think we did a lot of things that the world didn't think that we would do.
I agree.
And it said a lot about LeBron in a good way.
Yeah, hey, given my druthers, as much as I kill LeBron, I hope he finishes his career here because I know we gonna be playing in June, and that's a nice feeling. I hope he doesn't leave. I'll kill him, and I'll kill him, and I'll kill him. But
you want him on your squad.
I want him on my squad with all the drama and all that he he brings. Hey, Brian, don't leave, but
Look, just get better.
Just get better. Yeah.
And guess what? You know that
I like playing in June.
You know that you can ask him that. You know you can put that on him because that's what he's done.
Yeah,
and
no
I
question.
fully expect him to do the same thing. I can't wait to see what type of player he is around this time next year. And I'm just excited for the run, appreciative of the run.
How many good years does he have left, Chris?
Games. LeBron,
yeah,
man, I feel like LeBron got at least. I think he's gonna be 3 years where he's gonna be
at this level.
Yeah,
three more.
3 more. I think 3 more years where he the best player in the league, and probably about another 2 or 3 more where he's a pretty good player. Yeah.
Let's see.
I think. Well, I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say 2 years where he the best in the league, and maybe another 2 to 3 more where he in the top 10.
Hey, like if we get Colin Sexton, we back in the finals with LeBron.
Well, the draft come before free agency.
I would, man. I would love to see.
Hey,
like,
if we get sexy, we back in the finals with LeBron.
Because of the nature of the way LeBron teams are built, man, I would really like to see LeBron. Like, you get to see this Warriors team. They get infused with this young athleticism. Who was the kid? It's Bell this year, but who was the kid last year? Who played some? Not a whole lot.
For who? Golden State?
Golden State.
What kid?
It was somebody last year who was playing. He was playing like the 4. It's crazy because he just kind of fell out the rotation. I feel like Bell took his minutes. He was like a 3-4 wing type guy. Could play the 4 when they went small. Score a little bit.
Young guy?
Young guy. Got a good bounce. He's still on the team.
Did he play in the playoffs?
He didn't play much in the playoffs, but he played some in the regular season. He had some highlight dunks and stuff like that. He'd get in garbage minutes and kind of, I can't think of his name. But then they had, with the big man they had, like, Ezekiel or something. Remember him?
Petula?
No, not Petula, man. He a young guy. Ferguson. He a second year man, ain't he?
He played, man, I don't know who you talking about.
Ferguson was in the OKC.
See, yeah.
Oh, maybe that's who I'm thinking. It's been a long year.
I was going to say, this year they had, like, Looney. He was in their starting 5 for a little bit.
Yeah, and I thought Looney contributed. You know what I'm saying? I thought Looney contributed as well. What happened to the dude that ended up going to Portland, though, man? His last name started with, like, an E. He was athletic, had good D.
He was a rookie or something?
He wasn't a rookie, but he got paid. He took the money and went to
Evan
Portland.
Turner?
No.
Evan Turner was at Boston.
He played for Golden State.
And then he went to Portland.
I can't think of it. All right, well, never mind. Anyway, like I said, thank you, LeBron. Thank you, all the Cavs. Another great year, just from the city. We appreciate y'all, and is this Game Point?
Yeah, man. Hey, we'll be gone for a little bit, man, but not forgotten. That was the end of season 1, man. We appreciate all the listeners, man. We'll be back,
soon. We gonna come back and hit y'all with OT. And we gonna discuss some things maybe outside of basketball and give y'all some perspective on that, as well as lock in some dates when y'all can expect us to come back. We shooting for that, that last closing of the preseason, open of that NFL season. Hitting y'all with that good football takes, man, and good football analysis. I'm extremely excited for the prospect of that, and having that be the main thing opening up the season.
We gonna talk some baseball?
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk a little baseball too, but I mean, like,
you were supposed to bring the breakdown, but Labor Day was, Memorial Day two weeks ago. What's going on in baseball?
Hey, you and Chris couldn't be found, man. I can't do a podcast by myself. What are you talking about?
Hey, I don't know, man. Des texted me and told me last time the session got shut down because you couldn't make it.
No, Des ain't tell you that. Des ain't tell you that.
Pops, man, you was out there kicking it, man. I ain't want to stop your flow, man.
I'm kicking it where?
You was kicking it last weekend, man.
I wasn't kicking it no place. The young fella's trying to put it on me. I'm always
You wasn't here. It was me though, because I didn't let you know. But you was definitely out last weekend. But if you don't remember that day, your memory just getting bad.
what? Yeah, I'd like to know where I was. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember being any place. I'm usually at home.
But you wasn't last weekend. But that's on you, man.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, man, we got a lot going for it. Do you want to give a little baseball breakdown, man?
Yeah, the people want to know. They said after Labor Day, you really be able to say some things.
Hey, the Indians still need a bullpen.
All right, outside of the Indians, who do you like outside of the Indians?
The Yankees are looking good.
So did the Giancarlo Stanton whole move? Is that panning out for them? Are they winning with that?
They got a heck of a lineup. John Carlos ain't doing too much, but they got a heck of a lineup. They're looking good.
Yeah, it's another guy emerging. Who's the?
They still got that
Judge.
Yeah, they still got Judge and all them boys, and they still got that that dynamite bullpen. Mm-hmm. Them in Boston on pace to win. Last I heard was about 112 games. Now they won't keep that up, I don't think. But them in Boston both look solid.
Boston playing good baseball too.
Yeah.
You think it's just the wear and tear of such a long
Yeah,
season.
ain't nobody. Them boys ain't running no 112 games. Come on, Chris. Not both of them, I don't think. No, it's going to catch up with them.
Who's getting the best of who when they match up?
Early on, I don't know. I can't even remember. I think they've been about even. Maybe the Yankees have a slight edge, but they play generally 18 times, so they'll see more of each other. But the Indians. They got to tighten up that bullpen, man. They've got to tighten up that bullpen. It's a must.
What about the defending champs?
They still looking good. They got they got that nice starting staff. They'll probably make a move for the bullpen sooner or later. But right now, they're in second place. Seattle's been playing some good ball, even after losing Robinson Cano. Seattle's been playing some good ball.
Yeah, how real is Seattle? I've been hearing, how real are they?
It's hard to believe they're going to stay up there, man. But they've been hot. So we'll see. I think Houston, with all that pitching they got down there, man, they're still the class of that division.
All right. You heard it from Pops himself.
Indians, bullpen. That's the word with the
Well,
Indians.
let me see. That's been something, that's been an echo of all your analysis pretty much since the guy got hurt. Go ahead, give me some names so I can speak intelligently.
He's talking about Andrew Miller.
Andrew Miller.
Yeah. He hasn't
ever
been
since
there.
Andrew Miller went down, that's kind of been the echo of all your analysis.
Yeah.
Who is it that you like? Would you like to see us go get? Yeah.
It depends on who's available, but I think they need to bring in 2, if not 3 arms. They can.
Oh, so it's a lot of help.
Yeah, they need some help, and I don't know what they're going to have to give up to do it, but they got to bring in 2, maybe 3 arms back there, because in October that's how you win games, man. Your starters, Tribe starters going to give you 5 or 6 innings, and then you got to lock down the game. With Bauer, Carrasco, Kluber. And the other kid,
Kluber's still pitching pretty solid.
Yeah, he pitching, giving up a lot of home runs this year. That's a concern, but he's still been pretty solid. But our starters can go with anybody. Especially Bauer done stepped up, man. That boy, he been rolling. But we got to get some arms in the bullpen. We need from the left. They signed Oliver Perez a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how much he's got left. He's 36 years old, but they've got to get some help in the bullpen.
How about that guy? Bartolo Colon. Oh my goodness. This dude is like just shout out to him, man. He's a real, just a baseball gem. I think he's a real gem in the sport. Man, how old is that dude?
I think he's
man?
44 years old,
44
still getting people
dude,
out.
Man, great big fat Italian looking guy out there, man. I seen him make one play, ball hit him right in the stomach, man. He kept it honest. He kept his composure. It was almost like a catcher,
about
no
3 weeks
gear.
ago, yep.
Yeah, you caught that?
Yeah.
I told Dez I love web gems, man. They some of my favorite kind of highlights. But yeah, man, I was watching that one live, hitting right in the stomach. He able to field it and get the guy out, and he didn't even blink. I'm thinking, man, this guy is a killer. 44 years old. Shout out to Bartolo Colon, man.
Pops, man, Minnesota in town next weekend, man. We should go out to the game, man.
Is that next weekend?
Yeah, man. Go out for Father's Day or something, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate everybody, man. This Gamepoint Podcast, man. Holla at us.
Holla.
See y'all.